Hey everybody, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again. And I just recently went back to the pawn shop. Sadly, it's probably going to be one of the last times that I go there, because they're not really taking in any DVDs or Blu-rays anymore. So whatever the stock they have left now it's the stock that they have left, and they're not getting any more in. So if you've been there and you've seen it, then you've seen it. There's nothing left. There's nothing more coming later. It's just that's it. That's what you get. So I've already been twice. I get the gist of what's going on, and I'm probably not going to come back after this. Maybe once or twice, but probably not ever again, because, you know, that was one of my favorite pawn shops, one of my favorite locations to scavenge for DVDs and Blu-rays, because, you know, sometimes I'd find something interesting. I found, let's see here, Ferris Bueller's Day Off here. Picked it up when they were still selling DVDs for $2 each. Got this for $2 because it has the only time that they did a commentary with John Hughes. It's the only commentary track that John Hughes ever fucking recorded. It's on this DVD. And that's why, one of the reasons that I really wanted this particular version of the movie, even though I had the Blu-ray already. So, you know, I would find rare or uncommon or, you know, interesting things like that there. So it was one of my favorite places. So it's kind of sad now that they're not really doing the DVD and Blu-ray thing anymore. I can understand why it's not really a big money maker, and it takes up a lot of space. But at the same time, for a collector like me, it's kind of sad. You know, you definitely don't want to see that. But, well, what are you gonna do? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyways, the first thing that I found there that I had a little bit of interest in was The Lawnmower Man, which now they have DVDs for $1 because they're trying to get rid of all their stock. So yeah, I picked this up for $1, and I believe that it's available on Blu-ray, but when I looked it up in the store, when I looked it up on my phone, it appeared to me that the Blu-ray was either out of print or hard to come by, or maybe not even a US release. So all I knew was that, like, even used, it was about $20 on Amazon. And I'm like, you know, I could buy the Blu-ray for 20 whatever fucking dollars, or I can just get this DVD right here and now for $1. And all I cared about really at that moment was, I haven't seen this movie in a long time and I want to watch it. Well, it's just easier and cheaper for me to do it this way right now. I have every intention of, if I can find the Blu-ray, I have every intention of picking that up as well, and then getting rid of this eventually, probably. But, you know, until then, at least I have the movie on DVD for $1, Lawnmower Man. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, and I really wanted to check it out again, so, yeah. Lawnmower Man. Next up, we have 2 Blu-rays. First off, we've got one that I was kind of waiting for a price drop on for a long time, but I, you know, couldn't bite the bullet ever. It's been in the $5 range for quite some time, but I never really bit the bullet on it until now. And that would be Michael Clayton. Now, I have seen this movie. I saw it, I believe, when I rented it. Had to have been almost a decade ago now. How old is this movie? How old are you? 2007. So yeah, roughly a decade ago. But, you know, I rented it, and I didn't know whether it was going to be something that I would like. I just thought, looks and sounds kind of interesting. So I watched it and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a pretty damn good movie. But it was still one of those, like, not great, just had a few great scenes kind of movies. So I really didn't want to pay too much money for it because for the most part I was just really interested in a lot of the scenes in the movie, a lot of really well performed scenes from the actors in the film, and the story, it was okay, the plot development was okay, everything about it was okay, but there were a few moments that were truly excellent, and that's why I wanted it, right? So when it comes down to something like that, when it comes down to a movie like that, I don't want to pay too much for that, because I know very well that my intention is not to watch it a whole lot, but to watch it when I want to see that one scene that I'm having a memory of, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't mind at all that I found this for $4 at a pawn shop, you know what I mean? In fact, this is one that I was kind of eyeballing the last time I went there. And I was hoping that they still had it when I came back, because, when I got home with my last haul, I was kind of like, if they had Michael Clayton there, I probably should have picked that up. Well, came back and I picked it up. $4. They also had this, which either I didn't see last time, or for whatever reason I just didn't strike my fancy. This was also $4. Catfish. I've also seen this one as well. Now, this was kind of a controversial movie, and it eventually became somewhat of a series on MTV or something like that. I haven't seen the television series based on the movie, but I enjoyed the movie. This came out shortly after, like, the Paranormal Activity movies. It's found footage, cinema verite. I enjoy those types of movies. If you hadn't figured that out yet from all the fucking movie updates that I do and all the found footage movies that I pick up, then I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, except it should be pretty clear by now that I enjoy the found footage thing. It's kind of controversial to me because the trailer kind of painted it as some sort of a horror movie, and that was definitely what I was expecting going into it. But I wasn't necessarily let down by the movie. I guess it was kind of a letdown that it wasn't what I was expecting, but I go into I try to go into movies not with the idea in mind that I know exactly what this movie is, and if it's not exactly what I expect, then I'm going to be disappointed. I let the movie tell the story for me. I let the movie sell me on the movie itself while I'm watching it. I don't necessarily let the trailer say everything that the movie has to say, you know what I mean? I don't, although I do tend to read a trailer and try to understand what I'm actually going to be getting out of a movie, I don't necessarily use the trailer as a background for deciding what a movie is all about and then getting upset when a movie isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be about. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say necessarily pleasantly surprised, but I was definitely surprised by what happened in this movie in comparison to the trailer. And it wasn't necessarily very scary to me. It was a little creepy, but it's not really scary. It's just one of those things where it's, kind of, it's unnerving, I guess I would say. But at the same time, nothing really scary or frightening happens. It's just one of those, wow, this person's kind of creepy, what the fuck kind of moments. And it really is a movie that's kind of like a warning against developing relationships online, which is kind of silly because I've had several relationships that have started online, and they're some of the best relationships, whether they were friendships or something more. They're some of the best relationships that I've ever had in my life. So, you know, I understand implicitly that the warning against doing stuff like that you see in this movie isn't necessarily accurate. And it's more of like a scary story that you tell your kids before bed or something like that to ward them off from the dangers of technology kind of thing. So there is that aspect of it that I kind of feel is sort of silly, but at the same time I'm really into found footage, and I really feel like this is very much an important movie in that genre, or subgenre I should say. So of course I've got to have it, of course. And at $4, why the hell not? Why not revisit it? Last but not least is something I picked up from Amazon, actually, for $5 buckaroonies. I recently did a Netflix Picks of this particular movie. I sincerely hope that everybody goes and checks this out. It's currently on Netflix, not Amazon, I'm sorry. It's currently on Netflix. You can watch it anytime you want to on Netflix right fucking now. And it is definitely worth the watch. Automata. I'm probably mispronouncing that entirely. But yes, this is an Antonio Banderas movie, but it's also a movie about AI, essentially. It really is like a Blade Runner for a new age. So what I would say is that if you like Blade Runner, then you have to fucking check this movie out, because it is very much pulling from the Blade Runner story. And I'm not saying it's fucking ripping Blade Runner off, but there are a lot of elements of this movie that are paying homage to Blade Runner in a lot of really significant, important, and beautiful ways. And I absolutely love that about this movie. And a lot of people didn't like the pacing of the movie. They didn't like this plot, whatever. You know what? All the complaints that I saw of this movie, in my opinion, when I saw of the complaints, all of them were fucking unfounded. If somebody out there who's watching this disagrees and does not like this movie and has what they feel is a legitimate, valid complaint about the movie, please let me know. And if I maybe think that I can explain it in such a way that it kind of proves a point that it's not necessarily as bad as you think it is, then all the better. But if I also read your post and I think to myself, actually, that guy makes a good point, which I've been known to do, mind you, then I will say that. I'll be like, you know, I hadn't thought of that, but that's an interesting point. So yeah, I'm not going to be fucking bullheaded about it, but I definitely feel like this is an underrated movie. One of the best sci-fi movies I've seen in fucking years. It's just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And I feel like everybody should be checking this out right now. It is definitely going to be an underrated cult classic in years to come. Like, give it 5 to 10 years and everybody's going to be reminiscing about Automata. I guarantee it. So yeah, that was $5. All told here, I think I paid like $15. I got Automata, Catfish for $4, Michael Clayton for $4, and then Lawnmower Man for $1. Not a bad haul. Not a bad haul, if I do say so myself. So yeah, that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.